Hello there viewers, good day to you and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, just welcome, glad you're here as well. This is I think a 2013 Chevrolet Camaro, the Midnight Edition, black wheels on black paint on black tinted windows. Customer states a litany of issues, one of which is I can't unlock the door because the button's receded inside of there. Try the pinky flangey, that's not gonna work. Nope, oh, it's not even locked, okay. Anyway, customer states a couple things here, one of which is that the AC blows warm, another of which is that the transmission grinds between second and third gear, powering down, and something else, but I already forgot, so we'll check the paperwork when I get back inside. Beginning engine starting sequence now at 170,427 miles on the odometer. Check engine light? Nope. Let's find out about that AC real quick, because it's hot outside and it's hot in here. Let's see, power this thing on. You know, we haven't had a Camaro on the channel for quite some time. Certainly haven't had one the past year or so. The last one I think I had a predatory customer who was trying to scam the shop, and I noticed right away, because he was saying, I found all the stuff wrong with his car, and he immediately said, oh no, it doesn't do any of that. I'm not saying this Camaro guy does that, but the last guy, the thing didn't start and the battery terminals were all hacked together and smashed up or broken or whatever. A bunch of tools and a gas can was in the trunk, and the guy that owned the car was like, oh yeah, no, it starts every time, there's no cranking problem. And then I caught him, and I felt he was a predatory customer, and I think I made a video on that car. I will look back and see if I can find that video. I'll put a link to it down inside of this video's description. So that's for all you Camaro guys. I also believe that was a Super Sport Camaro, and this one sounds like a 6-cylinder Camaro. Ring! Yeah, it's a V6 Camaro. Yeah, let me go find Lauren real quick so we can see what the other third complaint was on this car. I think she's... there she is over there. Uh-oh, tow truck's coming in with something on the hook. Hey, Laura. Hey. What was the other complaint on this car?
Check AC, it's warm.
Yeah.
Power steering leak and...
That's it, power steering leak and shifting, grinding.
Yeah, second and third gear.
Okay, let me get out of the tow truck guy's way. Now I remember, power steering leak. Got it. Oh, it's a miniature van that's broken. I wonder what is wrong with it. It's probably got a Pentastar V6. You guys know how I love those Pentastars. So yeah, survey says the AC in this vehicle is definitely not even blowing anything, so I'm just gonna turn it off. It's blowing hot air actually. Let's go out, take it for a ride real quick, and we're gonna check on that second to third gear grinding bit of business. We're first gear right here. That's second. And third says, yeah, that was a little rough into third right there. I wonder if it's got a worn out shift fork. Okay. Second again, going into third. Yeah, it's a little tough into third. I believe we have some internal wear on our transmission. All right, trying it again, second gear, winding out. Third. Yeah, it's not grinding for me. Okay. All right, well, back to the shop. I would like to address the other concerns. I'm probably going to imagine that the AC is going to be the primary issue here, especially considering that it's hot outside and we are in Florida, and AC is a necessary function of most vehicles. Yeah, it didn't even grind. It didn't grind on me even during downshift. So I think we're good here. Green light. All right, there's first gear, second gear. Yeah, I think this it hasn't done it yet. Come on, one more time. Winding out. Third gear. I wonder if our driver is not fully depressing the clutch. That could be the cause for the concern, is not fully disengaged clutch. And second again. Full speed. it seems to be okay. I better slow my roll because I saw there was a sheriff's department vehicle right over here earlier under the bridge. Is he still there? Yep, there he is, hiding out. See him over there? We can see you. Good hiding space. Yeah, I saw him earlier. Trying to catch people driving in excess of the speed limit. Breaking the law, third gear downshift, no grinding. Okay, back to the shop space. Let's get this thing racked up. We'll check on that power steering leak, and I will throw this on the AC machine, and we'll see what's going on with the climate control system. So, stay tuned, because this is gonna be a very good video. All right, parking the auto. Let's go ahead, pop the hood here and get down below to the climate control under the hood and see if we can get this thing to come alive or not. I wonder if it's just low on refrigerant or if we have a leak. Perhaps the compressor is no longer compressing. We're gonna find out. Hello, V6 Camaro. Yeah, that's a 3.6 liter. Ew, well, I smell something cooking in there. Okay, looking down below, that AC compressor is definitely not running. And that's weird. That clutch looks rather mangled. Let's get in there for the close-up, Mr. DeVille. See if we can't see this AC clutch. Yeah, the front of that's not looking too healthy. Yeah, I doubt that's the real problem there, but it didn't look that good. Where's my service valves here? Let's check these units. Okay, we got a leaker. Look at that right there. 1000% leaker. See it boiling out? Very, very bubbly. Okay, now one might think that, hey, look, we found a leak. There's the problem. Let's just fix the valve and recharge it and have a nice day. That is putting the cart before the horse. So what we need to do first, before I do anything and tell the customer we found anything, is we're gonna put a charge to this thing and we're gonna determine whether or not that low charge is actually the cause of the system not functioning. Reason being is, let's say the system goes out, maybe the compressor dies in this unit, and the customer goes out and they buy one of those little cans of a refrigerant you can get from the store. They plug it in and they fill the system up, and although there is a leak, that may not be the exact reason that the system had failed. So the reason that's putting the cart before the horse is I could tell this guy, hey, I found a leak, you're just low on refrigerant, and we quote him to change the valve and then fill the thing back up, and before you know it, you get all done with what you said you were going to do and the system still is not functioning. So that's a scenario that we do not want to entertain and would like to avoid. So before we do anything final regarding the estimate, we're going to make sure this system is capable of functioning and that it cools properly. So what I will do is we're going to hook the machine up to it. I'm going to throw in, you know, like a half a pound or 0.6 pounds or whatever, which should be enough to get it going at least. And see, it's got some refrigerant in there. See this? Look at here. 100 and something pounds. So again, just because we have that leak right there doesn't mean that's actually the reason that it's not functioning. So we need to diagnose and confirm the reason it does not work before we proceed with any repairs. In the meantime, I think what I'll do is set the rack on this thing, run it up in the air, and we're going to take a look at that power steering pump. Now, because we seem to have some pressure here, I do not know how much refrigerant is in it, and again, my guy may have put refrigerant in it, so I'm just going to evacuate everything and then install a known good charge that is the correct level. So again, recover, do not save information, connect hoses. Yeah, we did that. I must have hit X, not thinking about it. So now the system's recovering. We're going to pull this thing completely down, start over from a baseline amount. Looks like it's going to take 0.540 kilograms. That's 540 grams of refrigerant. in the system. That's total capacity. Here, I'm just gonna push this forward since it's a manual. So I need to go ahead and, wow, the heat's on in here, that's hot. Oh, I'm an idiot. Look, the AC's not on. There we go. And the heat was turned up. Okay, here, let's turn it down to cool. Is this guy trolling me? Can't believe I just did that. He had the heat on. Why is the heat on? Anyway, hang on, I may have just ruined my entire diagnosis. So let's start over. Let's recover everything. I mean, I'm not really that bad off, but the compressor not being on was my own doing. Kind of feeling a little sheepish, but it happens. On occasion we do such things. I am human after all. But since the machine is recovering, it never hurts to determine a known good charge. So I'm really at no loss here. Let's rack this thing up, get it up in the air. I'll take a look for that refrigerant. I'll take a look for that power steering leak. And then by the time the machine is done recovering, we'll know how much refrigerant came out. And then we can kind of just make a decision as to the path of repair later on. That's broken. Things are broken on our Camaro. Let's raise this up a little bit. There's a pinch weld right here, we can use that. Same thing here on the right rear corner, pinch weld. Make sure we're not smashing plastics. Then up front, get too high up. This guy is gonna go under, there should be some metallic structure. Yeah, right there. There we go. Ready to rock and roll. Moving on up. Black subscribe button. All right, coming up to the top, and yeah, it's got a power steering leak, that's for sure. It's definitely marking its territory. Look at that. That's not okay. What are we doing here? Steering gear? Motor mount? Power steering pump? Where's my leak? And what is it? It's a serious leak. But where is it coming from? Leaky, leaky, where are you? I can't tell you guys. Yeah, the pump's up there. I think it's the pump leaking. Now it's coming out of the steering gear right here. See all that? There's fluid everywhere running right out of that steering shaft. Hang on, let me grab a towel or some spray or both. We'll clean it off, then watch it leak out. Yeah, that's a full one. Go ahead and shake it off. Okay, let's see here. Make it nice and shiny. Stanky. Oh yeah, look at it right there. Leaking right out of the steering gear. Look at it pouring out. Yep, right here. Looky there. Just covered in power steering. I know the light might be messing it up, but it's running down. You can see it carrying debris. So we need a rack and pinion. That is our power steering leak. There's probably a slight leak up at the pump as well, but not really like the major primary concern. That one just had some saturation on it. But the big leak is absolutely dumping fluid out everywhere. Here, real quick, throw some absorbent mats on that. Leave that alone for later. Off the lock. More off the lock. Coming down. Okay, we're on the ground. I just heard the AC machine start to beep, so let's go ahead and install a charge, and we're gonna see if this compressor is gonna come on. So we recovered 0.480 pounds of refrigerant. That's probably like halfway. I can't convert the excuse me, I can't convert the metric to pounds in my head just offhand. So we're just going to install this at 540 grams charging, and then I can build the estimate once I know if that compressor is going to come on or not. So we're going to switch this to metric. 0.0540 grams. That's 0.54 kilograms. Charging. Now I do realize that I will have to discharge this yet again in order to change the 2 service valves. I know that one's leaking. Don't know about that one so much, but I will have to change both valves. But right now we're in the diagnostic stage of this repair, and we need to gather information before throwing parts at the thing. So, begin charging sequence now. It's reading the tank weight, measuring what's in the tank, so it can measure properly how much it installed in the vehicle. Charge is going in, high side's coming up, low side's coming up, AC's turned on inside. Let's watch our compressor and see if it's gonna kick on. Oh, look at there. Compressor's already running. Look at that. Cool. Okay, so we know the compressor works. Let's go in and start to feel for some coldness. See what we get. Nothing yet. Okay, it's been a minute. The machine was taking a real long time, or rather the car was taking a long time to finish the charge off. So I had the compressor shut down. It is now, let me pause this. It still wasn't complete. It was at like 95% complete, but that last little bit just didn't want to do it. Yeah, we got 0.447 kilograms in there. So we've got a charge in it. Compressor's running. We've got high side pressure. We're up there at 250. Low side 50 psi and coming down like it should be. Let's go check our fans, and then we can come back inside and check the internal temp. If the fan is not running, it's not going to cool very efficiently. So I've got, we have fan flow here on that one, and that one over there is also flowing. This is good. So the pressures are reasonable. We're coming down to 40 psi on the low side. That's what we like to see. And center vent temp, it's up there a little bit. It's a little warm. 90 degrees is what my meter said. Put it over here in this in that one. We'll give it a little bit of throttle. Okay, yeah, she's coming down. Now we're at 70. Make sure all my settings are correct. We're on cold, recirculation, compressor's turned on, in my face vents. Temp still coming down. We're 60 degrees. Okay, so now the system is cooling as it should be. Yeah, we're 60 right here. It's a pretty hot day out today too. It's a little warm. So yep, coming down to about 50, 55, 52, something like that. Okay, so the system is capable of cooling. Let's go ahead and shut this thing down. So we know we need a power steering rack and pinion, need some fluid. I always do outer tie rods when I do rack and pinions, and we need to put new service valves on this AC system, and it just needs a recharge with refrigerant, and we're good to go. So let me go and get this estimated real quick, and we're gonna call our guy and see what we're gonna do, and then we'll get started. Okie dokes. Well, this video is gonna be shorter than I had anticipated because well, number one, that steering gear is a day away, and number two, I quoted a GM factory steering gear, not a remanufactured one, and I think I kind of over quoted the job. It was a fairly it was a pricey unit. So I think what I'm going to do, I mean, I got the approval to fix the AC stuff, but I got a decline on the steering gear. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to re-quote this for later on, and I'm going to price out a more economical steering unit. For the time being though, we're going to change out this service valve right here. That's the ball in, I guess I'll call it a ball and socket type of valve. It's like a spring-loaded ball that's in there from what we saw earlier. That one over there, that's just a regular Schrader fitting. So we're going to pull this apart, change both the valves, recharge it yet again. Like I said, I've got a no-go on the steering gear for now. But what I'll do is I'm going to re-quote it with a remanufactured cheaper level component, and we'll see if we cannot get this thing fixed up at a later date. So the steering gear is, like I said, a no-no for today. We're just gonna fix the AC and then ship it on its way. And I did not mean to make that rhyme, but it did. So the machine is recovering yet again. Let me go ahead and fetch my core remover tool, and then I'll fetch the socket to pull that valve off of the line right there. The new valve has been ordered, so we're gonna get that changed out real quick, and then like I said, we're gonna send this thing on down the road and on its way, because it needs to go home because they only have one car. So that ball and socket valve requires a specialized socket. You'll notice the extra points on this unit right here. This is designed specifically for these valves, and a regular socket won't work, and I discourage the use of pliers or wrenches on these because it can knurl up the surface, and then your AC fittings will not fit onto the service valve. Okay, so refrigerant recovery is nearly complete here. Let's go ahead and pull this valve out of here. So what I need to do is make sure the line doesn't twist, because these lines are very thin aluminum and they can twist and break quite easily. So we'll slip the socket over it, get the wrench on to hold the line in position here, unclick it, unscrew it, there we go. Now we're sucking vacuum, or here's our fitting. Let's give it some hammer taps here to break it free. So there's our leaking unit. So now we can compare the two valves together. Here's the old one, there's our new one. Came with some thread lock on it, new O-ring. This guy's looking good. Let's go ahead and get this threaded on and installed. Then we'll get the small Schrader valve on the low side line. And once that guy's installed, we can pull this down into a vacuum again and recharge it. There we go. Plug this unit right back in right here. Open it up some, and we are good on that high side line. Let's take our low side off. Beep. Now this is a different type of valve. It's just a regular Schrader valve, like what you would find inside of a tire valve stem. So we just go in with a little Schrader removal tool, and we seem to have some interference here with the valve cover. That's kind of annoying. Here, we'll flex it, spin this guy out. Yeah, there's no sense in just changing one valve. I gotta do them in the pair. So there's our secondary valve. Old one right here, new one right here. Let's go ahead and get this thing set up into its service port. Flexing, tightening, threading. Clicking, finger clicks only. And we'll go ahead and put the line back on it and then start the vacuum process. Now we didn't vacuum this earlier because it did have some refrigerant in the system, but since now it's empty and we opened it up, we've introduced some air. Air contains moisture, and moisture is the enemy of an AC system. So we're going to vacuum this. Standard 10-minute vacuum should be sufficient. Checking inlet pressures, which we have none. Do not save the records. 10-minute vacuum. Sucking it down to 29.9 inches mercury. And once the vacuum is complete, we can then install the proper and correct charge. Moving right along here, our vacuum is complete. We're going to go ahead and install our charge back to metric 00540, and I would like to run this on the low side this time because the high side charge was taking its sweet time to go in on the last one. So we're going to do a low side charge. Reason being is if it does not want to take the charge for any reason, I can turn the compressor on, and the compressor will pull suction on the low side service side and allow that refrigerant to be drawn in from the machine with greater ease. So while this is doing that, I can clear off my tools and goodies here. I've already cleared the rack. Let's just get my stuff out from under the hood, and we're gonna prep to complete this particular operation here. Okay, charge is going in. You see how the low side is super pressurized and the high side's on its way up to equalize. That tells me that there is refrigerant flowing through the expansion block and through the compressor, because it is making its way onto the high side of the system. And we are going in quite nicely, 0.48 kilograms. We're looking for 0.54 kg. Yeah, let's go ahead and start this thing up and let it begin cooling. It's got a mostly full charge, and considering it's low side charge, we can do that. So clutch in, neutral, park and brake for safety, key on, beginning engine restarting sequence now. It is alive yet again. Okay, AC full blast, in your face mode, got the thermometer, AC on, recirc is going, in neutral. Let's back out of the clutch and climb on out real quick in preparation for our machine to complete its task. You done yet? 527 kilos. It's a lot of kilos. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Wait, up, we're all done. Hose equalize. Let's do hose compensate. I prefer hose compensate over hose equalize. What it's going to do is basically install the amount of refrigerant which is pre-calibrated in the machine that would be contained within the two hoses, because it's a known quantity that fills those hoses. And since we installed it and it takes its measurement from the internal tank, everything that goes into those hoses is part of that measurement. And if you don't do a hose compensate, then you will slightly undercharge it by 0.3 pounds, I believe. Either way, it is now complete. Pressures are spot on, looking good, 230. We know the fans are running, so at this point, we can go ahead and detach our service valves. Oh, that right there, you'll find that to be kind of normal when you first disconnect these. You'll see the bubbles right there because it has to seat that valve. But if we take a closer gander, we can see there's no more bubbles coming out, so we're good to go here. Put the cap on before it gets too hot. Let's get the rear valve off. Come on. Please come off. Wow. It's stuck. There we go. It was a right-handed job, not a left-handed job. So we'll put a new service cap on that line, tighten that guy down. There we go. Take our hoses, throw these guys over the machine, and I need to recover the hoses. So we hit the arrow button, and it's basically just going to recover its own self and pull refrigerant out of the hoses, send it back into the machine, into the storage tank, and that's good to go. So next, power down the light, get rid of the power cord, get that out of here. We're gonna hang you up right here for next time. Hood closed, we're good to go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out, get it parked. Let us check the center vent temp, see what we're working with here. Yeah, right now we're in the mid 50s, that's about 55. Not too bad for being indoors with no airflow. Reverse mode, backing out. Whoa, wrong reverse mode, see that? Almost ran into the wall. That's why we have insurance. All right, backing out the auto. Looking good in the neighborhood, no one behind me, checking the mirrors. Machine's done re-recovering, passing the door of death. You know, I leave that open because if the door is closed, number one, that's less airflow I can have. And since the office is here, folks don't really know where it is, but that door being open is quite inviting. So they'll go into that door and then they face a wall, so they have no choice but to look left or look right. If you look right, you see the shop, but if you look left, you see a door to the office. So it's actually there to guide people into the office. because sometimes folks come in and I don't see them coming in from wherever I'm at, and they have to figure it out for themselves. That's just the way. Anyway, back to singing to the hole. This vehicle is complete. Get her all lined up and we're ready to rock and roll, and we're good to go, guys. So having said all that, I do not believe I have anything more to offer you on this particular Camaro at this time. Like I said earlier, I did offer the guy that owns this car a cheaper solution as opposed to the GM steering gear. It only came in at like $170 less than the factory unit, so I really can't do much for him. But I mean, it is what it is. Maybe we'll get to do this job later on. So guys, having said all that, as always, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it's rather shorter than my normal content. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. One more time, do not forget to go back and check out that other Camaro video down inside this video's description. I think that one got a couple million views back in the day, so it was a pretty popular one. You may have seen it because, again, there's a couple million of you out there watching. If you didn't see it, again, link is down in this video's description, and I will also place it right up here at this in-screen button. And you know, just for fun, I will stick a link to it in the comment section. So while you're in there leaving me a comment, when you're done, you can go scroll on up to the top of the page, click that link, and check out some more Super Sport Camaro action. So guys, that'll about do it. We'll go ahead and close this one out. Again, thank you guys for watching. And most importantly, before I go, I'd like to remind each and every one of you to not forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later in a video, into 50-degree Camaro, into transmission. Goodbye, Camaro.